Welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Mortgages. Know your break-even number. This presentation is for the beginner who is thinking about or is about to secure a mortgage for their first time. If you are a homeowner or property owner and you have never given thought to knowing your break-even number, then you will find benefit in this presentation as well. It is your break-even number that allows you to leverage the property to your advantage so that you will be able to gain the most profits from your investment. If you do not know your break-even number, then you put yourself at risk for causing or allowing the interest rate to eat into your profits and cause you to lose your capital investment. This presentation that I've put together here, this PDF file, is a transaction that occurred in the year 2000. To give you some history, a brief history on this transaction so that you may have the proper context. This was a property that was part of a government program, affordable housing program, that would allow individuals of a certain income bracket to purchase a new home. Now, part of the criteria is the homeowner would have to stay in the property for at least 12 years before they could sell the property without penalty. How they would do that is what they would refer to as a soft loan is placed against the property for a period of time, whatever they determine it to be. In this scenario, that time was 12 years. And for every year that you stayed in the property, $1,000 would be deducted from the $12,000 soft loan. Now, as an example, let's say if you stayed in the property for 5 years and you decided you wanted to sell, then you would be given a penalty of $7,000 for selling before the 12 years soft loan period had ended. So you have $12,000 soft loan placed against the property. You stay in it for 5 years. They subtract the $5,000 from the $12,000, leaving you with $7,000. So that $7,000 would then be deducted from the sale of the property. And this is what they do to ensure that the homeowner stays in the property for that period of time. And we're going to go through why, or you'll understand why they want you to do that, and why, if you can, you should avoid those types of deals. So the original price for the property was $61,175. The down payment was $1,500. And that left the original loan balance to be $59,675. In the year 2000, the going interest rate was 8%. The term of the loan, 30 years, 360 months. It's important to know this number here, because when we do our calculations, we're going to do our calculations in terms of months and not years. So principal and interest only, $437.87. That brought the monthly payment to $632.75, the original payment, which would be inclusive of taxes and insurance. The homeowner opted for an optional insurance, which was a mortgage protection insurance. That brought the monthly payment to $654.95. So as you run your numbers and you do your calculations on your property or potential property, this is how you want to lay it out. You want to follow this format. Right now, let's look at this here. To calculate total interest paid over the life of the loan, meaning if you stay were to stay in the property for the full 30 years, this is how much interest you would pay on that loan. Meaning, after you pay your balance, this is the additional amount of money that you would pay on top of your balance at the end of the 30-year period. So we would take, so to do that calculation, you're looking at $437.87, which is the principal and interest only, times 360. And remember, we shared that 360 is 30 years in months. That comes out to be $157,633.20. We subtract that from the original loan balance of $59,675, which gives us a total interest that will be paid over 30 years of $97,958.20. That's $97,958.20 in interest paid over the life of the loan. To calculate the total amount spent over the life of the loan, now we want to bring in our actual monthly payment, which is $654.95 times 360. And that equals $235,782 plus the down payment of $1,500 brings us to a total of $237,282. So we subtract the $59,675, which is the original loan balance. And that brings us to, for the total spent over the life of the full loan term, $177,607. And I've underlined these numbers here because these are important numbers to remember when we get to the point where we're going to bring it all together, tie everything up so that you can properly understand why these numbers are important and how you arrive at your break-even number so that you can maximize these mortgages to your benefit. So again, the total amount spent over the life of the loan, if you stayed in this property and you kept this loan for 30 years, you would have spent $237,282. And then you subtract that from your original loan balance, that brings us to $177,607. This is not inclusive of cable, gas, and electric, any maintenance that you do on a property. We're just talking about the fundamental numbers here. And this is what you need to know. Okay, now let me go back here. To determine the profitability of this property, subtract the sum of the actual monthly payment times the term plus the down payment from the going resale value predicted at or after the term of the loan. In this scenario, this property is estimated in the year 2020 at $125,000, and it's been, and since 2000, this has been the average that the property is maximum property, or average that the property has been able to resell at in that neighborhood, $125,000. So now, remember this number here. I want to go back here. The total spent over 30 years, $237,282. So this would mean that if this value stayed the same, the estimated resale value stayed the same at $125,000, well, in another 10 years, you would subtract the $237,282 from the $125,000, which is estimated at, and that means that this property would be a loss of $112,000, meaning out of your pocket, due to interest, you would have lost $112,282. So we can determine that this property is not profitable at the end of 30 years. to determine break-even year. The year that determines when you need to sell before the interest begins to take the equity out of the house. Here are the steps. Divide your original balance by your actual monthly payment. The sum is your break-even year in months. Multiply your actual monthly payment times your break-even year in months. Subtract the break-even year sum from the estimated resale value to determine gross profits. So here we go. $59,675. This is the original loan balance as we have here. You want to divide your original balance by your actual monthly payment. The actual monthly, we're dividing that by the actual monthly payment, which is $654.95 equals 91.11 months, which equals 7.5. 7.5 is interpreted as 7 years and 5 months. You can use one of the free online month to year calculators to do the conversion for your scenario. So now, because we know that 7 years and 5 months is the time that we need to sell the property, because that's our break-even year. So now when we look at $654.95, which is the monthly payment, we multiply that times 91.11 and we get $59,672.4945, rounded to $59,672.50. And this is the approximate value of the original loan. Because remember, the original loan is $59,675. So we are at our break-even year where we have paid back the original loan balance. At this point, at 7 years, 5 months, we have paid back approximately the original loan balance. Now, if we do subtract the estimated resale value of the property, if this was done at the break-even year of 7.5, 7 years, 5 months, and we subtract $59,672.50 from the $125,000, then that would have given us given the homeowner a gross profit of estimated gross profit of $65,327.50. These are approximations because you also have to take into account at that point in time, whatever they calculate the interest to be, which it may be about, on this loan here, maybe like another $200. So here are some extra formulas. But again, let me take this back here real quick. You see the importance of this. So every year that you go beyond your break-even year, you are losing money. So here's some extra formulas. To calculate how much you have spent to date, multiply your actual monthly payment times the current date of your loan in months. So for this property, it's been 20 years. $654.95 times 240, which is the monthly payment, times 240. 240 is 20 years and months. Means to date that this property owner has spent $157,188. And when we do the math, when you subtract that from the resale value, if they were to sell today at $125,000, you would see that they would still be at a loss. To calculate soft loans and to determine profitability immediately after soft loan period, multiply monthly payment times soft loan term in months. Then subtract the soft loan sum from the estimated resale value of the house. So your 12-year soft loan, $654.95, which is your monthly payment, times 144. Again, that's 12 years in months, 144, equals $94,312.80. $125,000 with the estimated resale value minus $94,312.80 at the end of the soft loan sum, you would now have an estimated gross profit of $30,687.20. Without the soft loan without soft loan, the gross profit is $65,327.50 from our previous calculations without the soft loan, selling at the break-even year. When we subtract the $30,687.20 right here from the soft loan, then you see that if this property was sold immediately at the end of the soft loan period, so at the end of the 12th year, right at the top of year 13, then this would result in a loss of profits of $34,640.30. You still make a profit by selling immediately at the end of the soft loan period. However, in this scenario, the homeowner would have still lost $34,640.30. That's better than coming in the red by extending past the break-even year to now we are 20 years since the sale of the property, and there's just no way that the money spent can be recouped. Key takeaways. Selling the house at the end of the full term may result in a major loss of capital investment. Again, selling the house at the end of the full loan term may result in a major loss of capital investment. And it doesn't matter if you use a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage. The 15-year mortgage means that you will pay less in interest over the life of the loan, and you pay the property off faster, of course. However, you have to do the calculations for your break-even year and run through all the calculations that were in this presentation so that you would know that if you stayed in that loan for 15 years, how much money you would be spending or have spent, and then weigh that against what the property will resell, what you think it might resell at a future point in time. And then that will determine if the property is profitable or not, whether you have a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage. Key takeaway number 2, selling the house in the break-even year, provided the market is in good standing, will result in a major capital gain of investment. Selling the house at the end of the soft loan term will result in a major reduction of profits. Avoid deals that have a soft loan criterion if possible. The last key takeaway: to sell your house for a profit at the end of the full term of the loan means that the property will have to appraise for a value that is greater than the sum of the actual monthly payment times the term of the loan plus the original down payment. So let me take this back up so you can see specifically what that means when I say that. So we're going to go back up here so we can find right here. This is why these numbers are highlighted and underlined. So this section, to calculate total amount spent over the life of the loan. This means that if you keep the property for the full term of the loan, in this case here, for 30 years, this value, the monthly payment times 360, again, that's 30 years in months, comes to $235,782 plus the down payment, $1,500, equals $237,282. This means that in order for you to make a profit off of that property, the property would have to appraise at a value at that point in time that's greater than $237,282. If you don't think that that neighborhood or that community at that future point in time at the end of your loan is going to appraise at a value that's greater than than this value here in this equation for you, then you should not stay in that property for 30 years. And when you talk about using property as a way of building wealth, then it is not intelligent to buy property from within that context to hold it forever. You simply, as you see when you do the math on it, you cannot recuperate that. And some believe, well, they can hold it until the end of the loan term for 30 years and then rent the property out. Well, even when you run those calculations in a scenario such as this, it may take you another 20 or 30 years before you get to your next break-even number, meaning before you get the $237,282 back that you've already invested into this property. So the best thing to do is to know your break-even year number and then sell the property around that point in time, whether it's a little before or a little after or exactly on that date. But you want to be as close to your break-even year as possible if you want to generate a maximum amount of capital profits from your investment. If you have any questions, by all means, you can post a comment and I will respond as quickly as possible. If you found value in what you just learned today, like and subscribe and share our channel. Thank you. We are complete.